Hey, what's going on, guys? Christian Hanahar here today, guys. I'm so excited. We're going to talk about Freddy's Nightmares, the TV show that just got premiered for its first time in streaming form, or like an official style release, I guess, really, on it's called Screambox, okay? And I heard about this, and I was really excited because I've always wanted to watch the show, like, legitimately in a way to where I can understand a little bit of what's going on. A little bit of a backstory with me is I had seen clips of episodes on YouTube in the past. I had seen maybe the majority of one or two, not the premiere episode, No More Mr. Nice Guy. And I was always like, this seems fun. It's like a show that has like stories and Freddy's in between, and sometimes Freddy gets involved in some of these stories. And it was always something I wanted to see. And so when I heard that it was getting streaming on Screambox, I saw that there's a free month you can get with Streambox. It's basically Shudder, if you haven't heard of it. And I'll talk about whether I'm going to keep Streambox or not. It's $4.99 a month, but we'll talk about that. So this is going to be just a little bit of a video diary. I'm really excited to talk about the first couple episodes that I watched and just give my thoughts. So again, Streambox, I went on their site, I subscribed. You get a free month, and then it's $4.99 after that. It's a lot like Shudder. So I started the show, and I'd always heard about No More Mr. Nice Guy, which is the debut episode of Freddy's Nightmares. And it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. I thought the whole episode was basically going to be the trial of Fred Krueger, and it's really not that at all. It's really the aftermath, and really kind of trying to tell a story that's been talked about in the movies, kind of like Freddy gets off of going to prison, and so you've got these parents that are, and people are involved that are like, he can't be free, we've got to take care of him. So the opening, let's talk about the tone of this. So No One Mr. Nice Girl, it's directed by Toby Hooper, which is really cool. So the story opens up in a courtroom, and the funniest thing ever is Freddy is in court, but he's not sitting like at the defendant's like side of the court where like the lawyer is. They have Freddy in a green glass like jail like cell thing that they brought into court. So it's already really funny right from that. The tone of this is pure cheese 80s horror television. And what's beautiful is like the people in the movie, they're really going for it with the performances and trying to be dramatic, and it adds to that cheesiness. It's really funny. So Freddy gets off on a technicality because the defense lawyer says, like, the prosecution gives their whole spiel about this guy is basically evil incarnate. Evil needs to die tonight. I thought they were going to say that. They kind of got close to saying that. But the defense lawyer stands up, and he looks like a creep. He's got, like, jerry curls. It's this white lawyer. He's got, like, jerry curls. He's got, like, a slick suit on, and he looks like mafia. Like, he looks like a creepy dude. And he goes up, and he goes, I just got this paperwork that's going to get him free. And so he gives it to the judge, and the judge is like, you arrested him without reading him his Miranda rights. He's got to go free. Which I don't know if that's technically the law that he could completely go free because he was a murderer. But they open the cage, and Freddy walks out of the cage, and he goes home, which is basically his boiler room. And so, like, there's the parents. Some of the parents in the courthouse are losing their mind because he's free. And again, they're giving these dramatic performances. And this one mom's like, she points to the cop that arrested him, didn't read his rights. This is your fault, blah, blah, blah. And he becomes the main character. So this dad, who's also this cop that arrested Freddy, his whole thing is, we've got to make this right. And so when he's walking out of the courthouse, all of a sudden, the prosecution lawyers and some of the townspeople are just like, screw the law. The prosecution lawyer, he gives the whole speech about, I've always been a man of the law. I've given my life for the law, and the law let me down. So now the law's taking a break today. We're going to take care of this son of a bitch. So, and then there's that crazy mom that was yelling in the courthouse, and they're all going to take Freddy out. So you get to see a little bit of Freddy, what he did after he gets out. He goes to the boiler, area, like this plant, like kind of like what you see in Nightmare 2, where you see this abandoned factory. Like they really kind of like went for that thing where Freddy's staying in there. And the funniest thing ever is, for some reason, they make Freddy like the Predator. And granted, this is Robert Englund. They don't show his face very well. at all, really, which is weird. I think the first time you actually get to see Robert's face as Freddy was part 5, and this show was 88. So maybe that's why. It's certainly Robert. You can see a little bit of his mouth, you'll see a little bit of his eye here and there. So when Freddy's going to the boiler room, he's having all these premonitions about what he wants to do to these kids, or reliving the kills he did in the boiler room. And they make his vision like this distorted red thing. It was like the Predator. You know, the Predator sees infrared? It was like that, but it was like distorted Game Boy Color red, and like that's how he sees, because it's like Freddy's just like this maniac dude who can't even see straight. It's really funny. And so you get to see all the little the dolls and stuff, and in the boiler room, and he has like whips and chains, like it's racy stuff they have going on. And we're gonna talk about more of the gore in the second episode, but. So the story continues to where the cop meets up with the townspeople that want to kill him in the boiler room, and the cop's actually the one that kills him. He burns him, and Freddy just takes it. He starts pouring gasoline on him because Freddy's like, "Shoot me, just shoot me. What are you gonna do? I'm not scared of you." Freddy's just like this savage. He's like, "You ain't gonna do nothing." So he walks around while Freddy just stands there, grabs the thing of gasoline, pours it all over Freddy, then lights him up, and Freddy is getting burned. This is human Freddy. He's getting burned, laughing his ass off. And finally, after like a few like smart aleck lines to like everybody, he finally starts acting like, "Oh my god, this hurts." So then he starts screaming, "Ah!" And so then that's halfway, which was interesting. I really thought this was gonna be the trial. So after that is when the cop starts seeing like premonitions. His daughters, who almost got killed by Freddy, or one of the daughters, they're twins. One of them starts doing the weird stuff and doing the 1-2 to the dad. The mom, she just wants to have sex with her husband. So she's like, "Nothing's wrong. Would you calm down and come to bed?" You know, some of the people that started killing Freddy, they're going to the boiler room and they're being found dead. But the interesting thing about this was, when they killed everybody, the cop told everybody, when they killed Freddy, the cop told everybody in that group, "We take this to our grave." Well, when the cop starts having weird premonitions and dreamlike stuff going on and realizing this ain't really ever going to be over, like Freddy was right, you can't kill me, the first thing he does is when he goes back to the police station is he tells his cop buddy, "We killed him." And not only that, he sold everybody out. He said it was me, it was the dentist, it was old Jerry with the tool store. Like, he sold everybody out. But then you get to see that it's really not all kosher. Like, you're in this perpetual dreamlike state with this guy, and then this is real, but then this isn't real. And then it's like a dream into a dream into a dream, then it's reality. It's not like hard to where you can't follow it, but it's just like, whoa, I mean, what the hell's going on? But I'll say this, Kevin Yeager does the makeup still during this era, so Freddy looked awesome. This was either right before Dream Master or a little bit after, but I know it said Kevin Yeager makeup effects. So Freddy looked amazing, and when he turns into Fred, like actual Fred Krueger. So the episode was good. I guess there's nothing to spoil. You guys know what ends up happening. Oh, the very end of it, I actually took some notes. What was cool was, there was some funny humor. There's a cop that stays out of the main character, his house, with the wife and the kids. And so the wife goes outside because they're like on neighborhood watch because Freddy's out there at this point. Freddy hadn't been killed yet. The wife gives this cop like some fried chicken on a paper plate. And he's sitting there eating this chicken. And then Freddy, living Freddy, comes out, stabs him. You see the chicken plate drop on this cheap ass paper plate and piece of chicken, and just blood dripping on the plate. I was surprised by the gore. The gore in this show is remarkable. I couldn't believe it. So the first episode is pretty fun. I mean, it is what it is. It's 80s television. But the thing that's still cool about it, that opposed to like cheap television today, is cheap digital looks like cheap digital. But at least back then, film was film was film. So it still has that cool look. It's still film. And so then I got into second episode, It's a Miserable Life. Now, this is where the show goes into what it really is going to be. stories with Freddy interceding sometimes. So Is Miserable Life was cool because the second it started, I saw it stars Lar Park Lincoln, and that was awesome. And then I saw it was directed by Tom McLaughlin, and then I saw his wife was going to be in it. So it's a very much of a Friday the 13th type episode. But this episode was really interesting because it's about this guy, and he works at Burger Boy or Beefy Boy. Beefy Boy. It's a fast food restaurant that his dad owns, and his dad's making him work there. He wants to leave. And so Laura Park Lincoln, his girlfriend, is like really supportive, and she's like, just do what you got to do. And she melted my heart. I don't know what it was about her in this episode. If her hair was perfect, she was glowing, she was beautiful. Laura Park Lincoln is so beautiful in this episode. I couldn't take it. I mean, she just melted me away. But this episode was really trippy, weird, almost like Kubrick-like in its weirdness. So basically, halfway through this episode, they get killed. But before that, let me mention one thing. The humor of Freddy in this was great because you get to see Freddy come out of a deep fryer when our main character in the beginning starts having these weird premonitions. I know I'm all over the place, but just bear with me. So basically what happens is before they get killed, the boyfriend, the main character, he hates this restaurant. He doesn't want to work in this fast food restaurant. I can't blame him. I've done fast food work. It's horrible. One thing I'll say here is like one of the funniest things is the hot grease thing with Freddy. It's short. It's like the in-between segments of the show. You get to see Freddy come out of hot grease, and it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. He comes out of a deep fryer, and he's got this smiling face on. And I think the way they actually did this was in reverse because the latex doesn't look wet when he comes out, so they did the reverse thing, and it was really funny. But this episode gets really whacked out, like almost like Kubrick-like shining bizarreness. So this guy, he wants to go to college. He doesn't want to work at his dad's restaurant, and all of a sudden, you see this weird scene with the mom where his mom's like, you're leaving the family business. She's all upset. And then he is like, just be a supportive mom. Why can't you be a mom like? And all of a sudden the lights go out and she turns into this I Love Lucy looking era mom, and she's all happy go lucky. She's making food. And then she starts making out with them, and it's really weird. And then later on, you see the dad being all upset because he gets these college acceptance letters, and his son, he's holding it from his son, and his son's like, Dad, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to be in Springwood. It's a dead end town. He starts deep frying and cooking the acceptance letters in a pan, and then there's a scene where he wants to kill himself. The dad's like, I'm just going to kill myself if you're not going to work here. And he's sticking his head in the oven trying to light a lighter to blow it up. The mom is in the fridge, and she looks decrepit and dead. It was bizarre. Halfway through the episode, they get killed at the restaurant. They just get killed. And then Laura Park Lincoln becomes the star. And then the whole episode's about her and her dreams and her memories and what's going on with her. And that was awesome. And then it got really bizarrely gory. I was tripping out. Tom McLaughlin's wife is the nurse in the episode. It was really weird. Also, Freddy Krueger makes a Burger King joke. He has a burger, and one of the cutaway segments is, and he takes the bun. He goes, I guess you can't have it your way. Silly shit. It's really silly. But yeah, Laura Park Lincoln becomes a star halfway through the episode, and then there's some weird gore in here. I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised at the gore. I'm assuming this was TVMA back in the day, and it was probably coming on at like 9, 10 o'clock at night, maybe Eastern time, maybe even midnight. Like I was shocked. There's some gore in this that's really weird, and it's like that cheap red blood, like Italian looking gore, I guess, because they couldn't afford like all the props and stuff like for the movies, but I'm enjoying it. It is what it is. Do not get me wrong whatsoever. It is 80s cheap TV. But if I can tell with me, it looks like the stories are really going to have to be funny, unintentional humor because it's 80s television. Everybody's trying to do their best, but it's cheap and they're on a rush. So, that natural, cheesy stuff comes out of it. But I'm enjoying it. I mean, so far I'm enjoying it. I'm 2 episodes in. I started the 3rd episode, and it's about this track girl, and I watched a butcher in the kitchen of there's a butcher in the school cafeteria, don't ask me why, and he's chopping ham, and he cuts his fingers off, and the bloody fingers go into a ham sandwich. There's some just weird gore in this. I'm loving that. But Freddy is funny in this. The wraparound scenes are cool. And when they go to commercial, they do the thing where they show the screen card of Freddy's Nightmares, and that's cool. So in terms of the quality of the show, the audio is fantastic. The video looks like basically that Friday the 13th show DVD set. It's modest. They're VHS looking rips, but they're fairly clean. Some shots of it get a little blurry for some reason, but for the most part, it's passable and it's not so distracting. So the good thing is, because this is finally streaming officially, that could mean a physical DVD release soon. But in terms of people saying, I can't wait for it to get a 4K, guys, I really don't think that's even remotely possible. This was television from the 80s. It's like, I just don't think that's possible. It's not like a made-for-TV movie. This was television. It just wasn't shot, I don't think, the same way. So at best, we'll probably get a DVD release, and if so, that's awesome. But I'm enjoying the show. I just want to do a video diary saying I'm officially watching the show for the first time, and I'm having fun. I'll check back in maybe at the end of season 1 and talk about my thoughts on the show and how it either progresses, probably downward a little bit, but what I'm enjoying. Is it worth getting Screambox to check it out? But it is a free month, so if you want to knock it out in a month like I am, go ahead and do it. I may not keep Screambox. I don't know. It's basically Shudder, and I already have Shudder, so I don't know. It is what it is. So I'm going to end it right there, guys. I'm enjoying Freddy's Nightmares on TV, on Screambox. I'm getting my free month, and if you want to check it out, guys, get your free month from Screambox and knock the show out. So thank you for checking out this video. I'm sorry it's kind of long-winded, and I'm a little racy because I'm excited watching some Freddy stuff. But there it is, guys. Freddy's Nightmares on Screambox. I'll check back in later on with more episode thoughts. See you guys later.